In my opinion, Veterans Day is honoring those who fought for our country. They risked their lives for us.
Well, I think Veterans Day is when we celebrate the lives of the soldiers who have been in war, and when we mourn for the ones who have died, also to help their families get through these hard times.
To me, Veterans Day is a special holiday to celebrate and thank all people that have fought for our country. Veterans have helped our country by volunteering their time and risking their lives for our freedom.
To me, Veterans Day is an amazing day where veterans are finally rewarded for all their hard work. They risk everything they have for their country.
You probably know that every year on November 11th, Americans celebrate Veterans Day to honor the millions of men and women who have served or are serving in the nation's armed forces. But bet you didn't know the whole story behind the holiday. For starters, it wasn't originally called Veterans Day, but Armistice Day, to commemorate the truce signed between the Allies and Germany in World War I on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918. The first Armistice Day in the U.S. was celebrated on November 11th, 1919. All business was suspended for 2 minutes starting at 11 a.m., and parades and public gatherings were held to commemorate the occasion. Later, America also began honoring its unknown soldiers on Armistice Day, a tradition that continues today. At 11 a.m. every Veterans Day, a color guard ceremony represents all branches of the military at the Tomb of the Unknowns in Arlington National Cemetery. In 1954, the name was changed to Veterans Day, following a national campaign to have the day honor all veterans, not just those who served in World War I. And did you know, for 7 years, Veterans Day was actually celebrated in October? In 1968, Congress moved Veterans Day to the fourth Monday in October so that government employees could enjoy a long weekend. But in 1975, President Gerald Ford returned Veterans Day to November 11th due to the historical significance. And that's where it sits on the calendar today. And do you know the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day? Both of them honor those men and women who have served in the military, but Memorial Day honors America's war dead, while Veterans Day honors all American veterans, living and dead. The U.S. Census Bureau estimates that there are currently over 21 million living military veterans in the United States. More than 16 million of these served during times of war, while 5.5 million served during peacetime only. So this Veterans Day, don't forget to say thanks to some of the millions of men and women who have served our country.
And
near the center of this sprawling cemetery, some of America's most hallowed ground, is an especially revered spot, high atop a hill, where 24 hours a day for the past 87 years, a solemn watch has been maintained, a careful march repeated, to guard and honor those known as the inscription on the tomb reads, "But to God."
The ceremony that you are about to witness is the changing of the guard. In keeping with the dignity of this ceremony, it is requested that everyone remain silent and standing.
Since 1946, that honor has been the work of elite members of the Old Guard, the Army's 3rd Infantry Regiment. Every movement is precise, every element of the walk carefully planned. 21 purposeful steps, pauses lasting 21 seconds, a nod to the military's highest honor, the 21-gun salute.
Multiple times I've wondered who they were, what they did, what their family went through. It's one thing for a soldier to give up his life for his country. It's another to be unknown.
Known as sentinels, these soldiers volunteer to guard the tomb, but must first pass a grueling 2-week trial. Just 10% of those soldiers move on to the official training, which can take as long as 9 months.
Cartel, man, this town!
Much of their training centers on the history of Arlington and of those laid to rest here.
What are the 3 quotes from the Memorial Amphitheater? When we assume the soldier, we did not lay aside the citizen.
When they're on duty, each shift is 24 hours. And when they're not on the plaza, they're constantly prepping for their next walk and helping their fellow tomb guards pass inspection, shining shoes, making sure nothing is out of place. Sergeant Scott Kamani earned his badge just over a year ago, but like many Americans, first experienced the solemn ceremony long before.
You first saw this when you came on a middle school trip. Yes. But did you ever really think that that would be you one day?
No, I had no idea. That's why I love talking to the 8th graders when they come here. I get to tell them what the true meaning of being here and seeing this changing of the guard is really about.
For the 29 men who guard the unknowns, this is about honor, service, and gratitude.
I think it's important, too, for all families to know that if their son or daughter goes away into war, that no matter what, we will still always protect them and guard them.
So they paid the ultimate sacrifice of them and then some. And they deserve, the utmost respect. We're not here to please the crowds or put on a show. Everything we do to a high standard is for them.
I state your name.
I, Bryce Worthington,
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend.
that I will support and defend
The Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States
Against all enemies.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and I will bear true faith.
And the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God.
So help me God.